Today on the Stay-at-Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make the most amazing lasagna. This is one of my most popular recipes, and for good reason. Today we're doing a little update so I can show you how to make the best lasagna ever. We're gonna start by cooking 1 pound of lean ground beef and 1 pound of Italian sausage in a large pot over medium-high heat. You wanna break this up and get it cooking. We'll let it cook for about 6 or 7 minutes until the meat is browned. What we're making is a bolognese sauce, which is a tomato-based meat sauce that will go with our lasagna, and let me tell you, this is good on its own. Now, if you use a lean ground beef, there shouldn't be much grease to drain. You do want a little bit in there, but if there's excess, you can drain that off. Then we'll add in 1 white diced onion and saute this for about another 5 to 7 minutes until the onions are soft. Then we'll add in 5 cloves of minced garlic and a teaspoon of fennel seeds and get this cooking for just about 1 minute. Now the fennel is a little bit of a controversial ingredient, but just remember that fennel is usually an ingredient included in sausages, so I like to add it to my bolognese sauce just because I feel like it really enhances the flavor and adds a little something extra. Then add in a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes and a 15-ounce can of tomato puree, which is called tomato sauce or passata. You'll also need 2 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, and my trick for that is to actually open both sides. That way you can just take off one side and then you can just press it right through, and don't forget to grab the other side. And you need 2 of them, so make sure you get both in there. Next, add in half a cup of white or red wine, or you can also use chicken broth or beef broth. Any of those will work. Then add in 2 tablespoons of sugar to balance out the acidity in the tomatoes, half a cup of fresh basil, a 1/4 cup of freshly chopped parsley, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, half a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Then we'll stir this all in and let it simmer. The flavor will develop into a more complex sauce as it simmers. I recommend letting it simmer for at least 1 hour, but if you can swing it, you can simmer it over low heat for up to 3 to 4 hours. You can also make the sauce ahead of time and freeze it for later use. I do that all the time. Now, before we're ready to assemble our lasagna, we'll need to compile the rest of the ingredients for our other layers. Now, I don't like the texture of those no-boil lasagna sheets, so what I do is take regular ones and place them into a 9x13 pan, and then cover them with warm water and just let them sit and soak. They'll be ready to use in about 30 minutes. Now you could always boil them on the stove, but I prefer this method. It's just more convenient. I don't have to bring a large pot of water to a boil. I don't have to babysit them or drain them. I can just put these in the pan and set them to the side and get everything else ready. Now you can make lasagna with either a bechamel sauce or a ricotta mixture. I like to use the ricotta. So you'll need about 30 ounces of whole milk ricotta. To that, you'll add 1 large egg, 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Whoops! And then we'll stir this all together. Now, in addition, you'll also need 1 pound of either sliced or shredded mozzarella cheese and 1 cup of freshly grated Parmesan. When you're ready to assemble, preheat an oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and lightly grease a deep dish 9x13 pan. I'm gonna grab some lasagna pasta sheets and pat them dry real quick. Then we'll spread about a cup of the meat sauce into the bottom of the pan and then create a bottom layer of these pasta sheets to cover. So I break one of the pasta sheets in half and cover up this gap there at the end. Then we'll layer on about 1/3 of the ricotta mixture. You kind of want to press that out and spread it into an even layer to cover the pasta sheets. Then we'll top that with a layer of that sliced mozzarella cheese, or you can use shredded. Just cover this here. The benefit of using a sliced cheese is that then I can layer on this sauce a little more easily and spread it out just like you did with the cheese in an even layer. And then we'll sprinkle on about 1/4 cup of the Parmesan cheese. Then you're gonna repeat this layer So we'll add in more pasta sheets, and I have the 2 extra to cover the gaps. More of the ricotta cheese mixture, the mozzarella cheese, the meat sauce, Parmesan cheese. Then if your pan is deep enough, do 1 more layer just like that. Now don't sweat it if you can't fit all 3 layers. A deep dish lasagna pan can fit 3, but if you're just using a regular 9x13, you'll only be able to make 2 layers, and that will work too. Now, once you get to the top, to finish it off, you'll do 1 final layer of the pasta sheets. Then you should have used all of your ricotta, so instead of adding ricotta, you're gonna top it with the rest of the meat sauce, because you don't want the noodles to dry out. They need some sort of moisture on top. Then top with the remainder of your mozzarella cheese. Then we'll sprinkle on the remaining Parmesan cheese. Now, if you wanted to make it ahead of time, at this point, you just pop it into the fridge. You can leave it in the fridge covered for up to 48 hours before baking, which really comes in handy. But if you're ready to bake it right away, you'll spray some aluminum foil with a little bit of nonstick spray so it doesn't stick to the cheese, and then loosely cover your lasagna pan. Then we're gonna bake this in the 375-degree oven for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, you'll remove the aluminum foil and continue baking for another 25 minutes, so 50 minutes baking total. At that point, your cheese should be warm and bubbly and brown, and then you are ready to eat. Thanks for watching. You can find the full written recipe in the video description. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow, and check out the rest of my videos where you can find hundreds of restaurant quality recipes you can easily make at home. See you later.